Hey everyone, and welcome to the weekly recap. And today I have one really nice example of the strategy working out, and the example of what kind of wave looking structure can we look for. And I want to start with the better examples, better so to say, that worked out better, and then move so you just don't waste your time if you want to see stuff that worked out, and then move on to discussing the ones that, as you can see, I had like B minuses quality setups all the week and then some B quality. So yeah, just a very average week with some stuff going on. So let's start with Euro USD. And this is a quick outlook. So we have Wednesday, we had New York session, price hit at 5R, 10R it ran eventually, and you see it just didn't go even one pip against the entry, just fell off. We had 20-minute zone and 1 minute confirmation, and basically that's all. So let's look at screenshots. So on daily we had this bullish structure that started to shift bearish on lower time frames, and that had some zones to hit even deeper, and the entry was somewhere here to the bearish side. So you see the zone for this entry was a 4 hours shift, like this really clear zone. Price mitigated it like fully and then started to go lower, and this is how it looked on lower time frames. And so this is how 1 hour chart looked like, and so you see these waves started to form, and it all came from that zone on 4 hours, and then it gave many entries after that. And this is how a 1 minute chart looked like. You see I had an entry like first one a loser and then this winner, which created like really nice structure, and I want to show you how it developed. So this is price action coming into the week, and again this zone, this range, it just formed the overall bias. So this is an example where the break is like really small, but it developed like real nicely. So what we had is so this was the start of the week. This is already Tuesday. So the price stepped, and then on 20 minutes, so my main zone for the entry was 20 minutes. So you see this is a kind of entry like I really do like, and it created this almost perfect structure. So again, one could try to enter here, and by the way, I think I entered there, also tried to bring the price down, and it went down, but you see what it did. You see how hard it was to be in the market if you want to enter here. And again, the difference is this is an up wave structure, and then the market started its move down, and in already downwards market we try to find an entry. So this is how it all looked like. So you see we have this range, and then again this really small break, maybe even 30-minute. So we had this like really small break, but a technical break, and then while the zone was mitigated, I was just going to lower time frames, and again first I took this one. Again, you see the difference. So this is 1 minute. First of all, we have a better zone to tap above. This is London session, so I took this note that there was a much better zone above. Then we just took the news low, so it's just contextual. But what I mean is that we just went, let's disregard this one. And again, this zone is like it was created for the New York tab, you know? So just going through the New York to there. And again, you see this break is just, it's just inside of a box. So it's not actually a downwards moving market. And sometimes it works. So it could just go from here. But usually, and as you can see from my previous weeks, like these entries does not work as good. And then you see what happens. We create this really clean break on 1 minute. And while the price started to move down, I entered here and protected myself above. So, and the market just went and started to create new structure. And not only that, so these circles are potential entries. You see how well the structure held. So it just never broke the ranges. Maybe only once. You see, like this perfect zones, like really clear breaks, like full body candles for the zones, like really nice entry opportunities created. And it all happened like before the New York and then while New York opened. So you see no entry there, just so didn't tap into the main zone and just continued to fall. So this was a Euro USD entry. I really recommend to go. It's like February 15, and just study this kind of wavy price action. It's the pattern that repeats, not so often, because if it was to repeat more often, it would be like real great, because it's like real clear. And more often than that, the market creates something like this, yeah, not like a real structure. And then you need to decide, either you wait for something like this or you take more aggressive entries. And market eventually just ran and ran, I think even low, and no, at this point it returned back and created even more downwards, as you can see, price action. So you can study by yourself. But the fact is, so only one range, you see, only one range that was creating a bias for the whole week. So this is for Euro USD. And this is another entry I try to take. As you can see, we have really clear breaks, like classical breaks, and nice zones. So for GJ, I was just looking to take it higher. But the problem with this zone is that on 15 minutes, the market just didn't create anything clear, and I just entered with what I had. And I had a break even, a loser, and a small winner that I closed manually. So you see this is a box type of price action, and when you enter on something like this, you can't really know what will happen. The probabilities are lower than usual, but nevertheless, we have really nice bullish bias from 4 hours, and then 1 minute in this example, and then 1 minute in this example. So you see it created pretty clear break, but the tap into the zone was just barely tapped, and I had to use this bigger stop loss. The market started to shift up. This was a London session, and then just took me out at break even, ran to 2 hours or something like that. And then I took this entry that was not supposed to be taken, so just a loser, just unnecessary loser. And then later the price just mitigated deeper into the zone and started to go up. created some ranges, and then created this break with the zone, and I just confirmed it here with the usual entry. It started to run, and when it created two breaks to the downside, as it was Friday, I realized that I will be probably at this point taken out at break even, and I just closed at 1.5 R, but the price took me out at break even if I was still in the market, and ran to 4 R and above, and will probably run even more next week to create this new high. So you can go back to this time and check what will happen. Now let's go to like losers and break-evens. Let's just quickly go through them. So this is Euro USD, trying to take this for our range down, but it happened earlier. Remember I mentioned that I tried to short the zone itself, and this is what happened. So I entered here, you see, on this upward structure. So this is how 15 minutes look like really nothing special, and just going up and up. So you see, like real bad context. In between London and New York, 1 minute shift was not bad, but news were also coming out soon. You see, these are the news. So like really low chance that even if it will run, it will allow me to stay with the market. So you see how it looked on 1 minute. Yes, the shift is like really clear. So one shift and second shift with a nice zone, and it just didn't win. Just continued the box until the news dropped, then took out everyone here and there and went even higher, you see, through the zone, and then went lower. So this was yeah, and for UJ I was hoping to take, so we had this range, I already discussed it during previous week. So we had like 9 breaks to the downside or something like that. So was just looking for the upwards movement, and this is what happened. So we had 1 hour zone, or like 30 minutes zone, 1 hour zone, and I took an entry, it went to profit, and news took me out, and then went to take profits. Here how it looked. So you see, this I think was my first entry, something like this. So this 15 minutes, I will look into it later, and this was the entry, like shift on 15 minutes, come back to the zone, just this crazy news candle. And yeah, so overall the bias, the direction was correct, but the news, they were like really bad. So you see, and I really left this text before it went. So there was this, so this is 1 minute move. On 15 minutes it looked like a usual impulse, and it just went down during the news. You see, holding the 15-minute range. These boxes are refined zones, so at the moment it didn't matter because the news just wiped out everything. But the fact is, you see, coming down into the news, New York starts, news come out, just take everyone, but overall holding the zone on 15 minute, 20 minute, and just went above, and it continued to go up and up and up during the week. Yeah, so this was the same entry. Oh yeah, basically that was all during this week. So again, some details you see. Again, in these outlooks, sometimes it just makes sense to just look through them, but then just start to notice, yeah, that I'm repeating some things, and I point out that something happens, something repeats itself, like this. Good zones work better, yeah, and then when you have a zone that the price is actually in right now, and you are in London session, and then you know that there is even better zone just a bit above or a bit below your zone, and the New York session is coming, then usually it means that the price will go there, you know. So maybe it means that you want to skip the entry. And overall, from the previous 2 or 3 weeks, for me personally, there were a lot of entries that I better didn't take, and it would save me some number of losers. But anyway, I of course continue to collect my data, and then later we'll analyze what I have. Okay, see you during next week.